In a world that is increasingly dominated by noise, the power of silence often goes unnoticed. We are constantly bombarded with messages, both verbal and non-verbal, and yet it is in the absence of sound that some of the most profound communication occurs. Silence has the ability to convey emotions, express opinions, and create connections that words simply cannot. It is a universal language, understood by all, regardless of culture or background. In this era of constant chatter and information overload, it is essential that we take the time to explore the impact of silence in communication. From the pregnant pause that speaks volumes to the quiet moments of reflection and understanding, silence has the ability to transcend words and leave a lasting impression. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of silence and discover how it can truly speak louder than words. The power of silence in communication. Silence has a unique power to convey meaning and evoke emotions. It is often said that actions speak louder than words, but sometimes, silence speaks even louder. When used effectively, silence can convey a sense of anticipation, mystery, or even disapproval. It can create tension and capture attention in a way that words alone cannot. One of the most powerful uses of silence is the pregnant pause. This is the deliberate pause in conversation, where a speaker momentarily stops speaking, allowing the listener to process the information or respond. The pregnant pause can be used to emphasize a point, build suspense, or give the listener time to reflect. It can be a powerful tool in public speaking, storytelling, or even in everyday conversations. Silence can also be used to express emotions that are too complex or intense to put into words. When words fail, silence can convey sadness, grief, or awe. It can create a space for individuals to process their emotions without judgment or interruption. In this way, silence can be a powerful tool for emotional healing and connection. Types of silence in communication. Silence can take many forms in communication. It can be a deliberate choice, such as when someone chooses not to respond to a question or comment. It can also be a result of hesitation, uncertainty, or a lack of confidence. Additionally, silence can be a form of non-verbal communication, where the absence of sound conveys a message or meaning. One type of silence is the silence of listening. This is when we choose to be silent in order to fully engage with and understand what someone else is saying. It requires active listening skills, such as paying attention, withholding judgment, and providing feedback through non-verbal cues. The silence of listening allows the speaker to feel heard and understood, creating a deeper connection between individuals. Another type of silence is the silence of reflection. This is when we take a moment of silence to reflect on our thoughts, feelings, or experiences. It can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. The silence of reflection allows us to gain clarity, make decisions, and find inner peace. Benefits of using silence in communication. The use of silence in communication can have numerous benefits. Firstly, it can create a sense of space and allow for better understanding. By allowing moments of silence in a conversation, we create an opportunity for the listener to process information and formulate a thoughtful response. This can lead to more meaningful and productive conversations. Silence can also foster empathy and connection. When we listen to someone in silence, we convey that their words are important and that we value their perspective. This can build trust and strengthen relationships. Additionally, silence can create a safe space for individuals to express themselves without fear of interruption or judgment. In addition, silence can be a powerful tool for conflict resolution. When emotions run high, taking a moment of silence can help to diffuse tension and allow for more rational and constructive dialogue. It gives both parties an opportunity to calm down and collect their thoughts before continuing the conversation. The impact of silence in different contexts: personal, professional, and cultural. The impact of silence in communication varies across different contexts. In personal relationships, silence can be both positive and negative. On one hand, silence can be a sign of comfort and intimacy. It can be a way for partners, friends, or family members to enjoy each other's presence without the need for constant conversation. On the other hand, silence can also be a sign of tension or unresolved issues. In these cases, silence can create distance and hinder effective communication. In professional settings, silence can play a crucial role in effective leadership and decision-making. Leaders who know how to use silence effectively can create a space for their team members to contribute their ideas and opinions. This fosters a sense of ownership and engagement, leading to better outcomes. However, silence can also be misinterpreted as indifference or lack of interest, so it is important for leaders to be mindful of the message they are conveying through their silence. Culturally, the impact of silence can vary significantly. In some cultures, silence is valued and seen as a sign of wisdom or respect. In others, silence may be interpreted as a lack of engagement or interest. It is important to be aware of cultural norms and expectations when communicating with individuals from different backgrounds. By understanding and respecting these differences, we can avoid miscommunication and build stronger relationships. Overcoming the fear of silence in communication. For many people, silence can be uncomfortable or anxiety-inducing. The fear of silence often stems from a fear of judgment or a desire to fill every moment with words. However, learning to embrace silence can greatly enhance our communication skills and deepen our connections with others. One way to overcome the fear of silence is through mindfulness and self-awareness. By becoming aware of our own thoughts and feelings in moments of silence, we can better understand the underlying fears or insecurities that may be driving our discomfort. This self-reflection can help us to let go of these fears and embrace the power of silence. Another way to overcome the fear of silence is through practice. By intentionally incorporating moments of silence into our conversations, we can become more comfortable with the space it creates. This may involve consciously pausing before responding, allowing others to speak without interruption, or simply taking a moment of silence to reflect before continuing the conversation. How to effectively use silence in verbal communication. Using silence effectively in verbal communication requires intention and awareness. Here are a few strategies to help you harness the power of silence. 1. Pause before responding. Instead of rushing to fill every silence, take a moment to pause and reflect on what has been said. This allows for more thoughtful and meaningful responses. 2. Use silence to emphasize a point. When making a key point in a conversation or presentation, pause briefly before and after to allow the message to sink in. This can create a sense of anticipation and make your words more impactful. 3. Practice active listening. When listening to someone, resist the urge to fill every moment of silence with your own thoughts or opinions. Instead, focus on truly understanding what the speaker is saying and provide feedback through non-verbal cues. 4. Be comfortable with silence. Embrace silence as a natural part of conversation. Recognize that it can create space for reflection, understanding, and connection. Non-verbal cues and silence in communication. Silence is not just about the absence of words but also encompasses non-verbal cues. Body language, facial expressions, and gestures can all convey meaning and create a silent dialogue between individuals. For example, a smile or nod can show agreement or encouragement without the need for words. Conversely, a furrowed brow or crossed arms can signal disagreement or defensiveness. These non-verbal cues, when combined with silence, can amplify the message being conveyed. Additionally, silence can be used in combination with non-verbal cues to create a powerful presence. By consciously controlling our body language and using silence strategically, we can command attention and convey confidence and authority. The role of silence in active listening. Active listening is a key component of effective communication, and silence plays a crucial role in this process. When we truly listen to someone, we are present in the moment, fully engaged with their words, and withholding judgment. This requires both verbal and non-verbal cues. Silence in active listening allows the speaker to feel heard and understood. By resisting the urge to interrupt or interject, we create a safe space for the speaker to fully express themselves. This can lead to deeper insights, greater empathy, and stronger connections. In addition, silence in active listening provides us with the opportunity to reflect on what has been said and respond thoughtfully. It allows us to gather our thoughts, ask clarifying questions, or simply acknowledge the speaker's words before offering our own perspective. Misinterpretations of silence in communication. While silence can be a powerful tool in communication, it can also be easily misinterpreted. The meaning of silence can vary depending on the context, cultural background, and personal experiences of the individuals involved. This can lead to misunderstandings and miscommunication. For example, silence may be interpreted as agreement or consent when it is actually a sign of discomfort or disagreement. Similarly, silence may be perceived as indifference or apathy when it is simply a result of deep reflection or processing of information. To avoid misinterpretations, it is important to be mindful of the individual and cultural differences in communication styles. Building strong relationships based on trust and open dialogue can help to bridge these gaps and minimize misunderstandings. Harnessing the power of silence for effective communication. In a world filled with noise and constant chatter, the power of silence often goes unnoticed. However, silence has the ability to convey emotions, express opinions, and create connections that words alone cannot. It is a universal language, understood by all, and has the potential to transform our communication skills. By understanding the different types of silence, embracing its benefits, and overcoming the fear of silence, we can harness its power to enhance our personal and professional relationships. Silence can create space for reflection, understanding, and empathy. It can foster deeper connections and lead to more meaningful conversations. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember that silence can be just as powerful as words. Take a moment to pause, listen, and embrace the power of silence. You may be surprised by the impact it can have on your communication and the connections you form with others.